very, very, very special guy to me. Will, oh boy, lots to say about Will. So, like I said, Ruby and Will came together. When we took them in, we were told that they had lived together. So when we got them in here, we put them in together, and we realized immediately that was a huge mistake.
Did they hurt each other?
He tried to attack her. She tried to attack him back. So it was like, oh my gosh. So in the midst of all this, we had also noticed him coming in that he seemed to have some neurological issues. So we were watching him pretty closely, and when we put him in the enclosure, he went up to one of the platforms and did a nosedive off of the platform. And it became very clear that he had some depth perception problems as well. So we were very concerned. We wanted to get him out of the enclosure away from her because she was very upset. And then B, we wanted to monitor him because, we wanted to see if he got a concussion or anything when he fell off or jumped off. So we put him up in the vet center for observation. Well, another thing that we hadn't noticed, hey, be nice.
Ooh.
Be nice. No yelling. See, I told you they hate them. Hate them, hate them. Hey, stop stalking her.
That's hilarious.
I see you. You're making it worse. So anyway, one thing that we hadn't noticed when we were unloading them is that he had a broken tail. And we only realized this after going back and looking at some video we were taking when we were bringing them in. I was like, oh, his tail looks like it was kind of at a funny angle. We don't know when it happened. We don't know if it happened before we picked him up or during transport, but obviously his tail had been broken at some point. Will here, number one, being neurologic, under so much stress and having this injury, he then proceeded to eat off several inches of his tail.
Oh. Is that why it's shorter?
That's why it's shorter, because then we had to go in and amputate a couple inches to make it clean. So he went through an awful lot in his first 48 hours.
A dumb question. Does the tail, like the length or the size and the fact that it's shorter now, throw off his, you know how sometimes if you lose a toe, your mechanics are off or whatever, does that impact them with their balance for
Probably
their
not,
tails?
because he was already not functioning.
Got it. Okay.
So anyway, his tail healed. Then it was this whole thing with, he was very skinny, and we realized he would not eat food if it was on the ground. So we had to hand feed him for months, and using tongs.
Yeah.
But twice a day, someone had to come out here and feed him all his food. We had to have a night light on at night because he'd get stressed in the dark. It was an ordeal, and truly for the first couple of weeks, we were really worried about just his overall quality of life. And if this was even right.
Yeah.
But he really, really started making improvements, and he is now just
a champion.
One of the most wonderful, coolest, most fun cats ever. He loves to play. He's an older guy too. He's 14 years old, but he is so active. He plays like crazy. In the summertime, he loves water, which is really unusual for a mountain lion.
Okay.
So we bring in a little pool for him.
Oh.
He plays in his pool. He's constantly wet and muddy.
Oh, that's funny.
He is he's really, really special. And so we have an adoption program, sponsorship program here where you can adopt or sponsor one of the cats and contribute to their monthly care. And he's my adopted son. I love him. So I love you.
Oh,
so
it's like
much.
Monroe.
I love you so much. You are the best thing in the whole world. I know. You're the best guy. And he is also deaf, but I still talk to him.
Oh, so cute. Oh.
I love you. I love you. I do. Yeah. So if you guys want to step a little bit closer, you can maybe hear him. Oh no, you just stop. No, you're not. No. Can't hear it over the car. Who are these people? Who are these people? He may have stopped, but he was purring. You could hear him purr.
That's because he was happy. He was getting a belly rub almost.
A pretend belly rub.
Yes, exactly.
You're being such a good boy. Yes, you are.
Oh.
He's so house cat like.
They act very much like house cats.
Yeah.
They really do. But here's the problem. You think about it, you have house cats at home, and you may be playing or rubbing them, and then all of a sudden they'll turn around and bite you for no reason.
Yep.
Yeah, they will do the same thing, except a bite from them is like, you don't want that. Yeah, no bites. Bites are bad. Yeah, bites are bad.
Oh.
He's just the coolest.
Are any of the males neutered to maybe help their temperament? Or most of them are?
It depends. If they live in groups, or especially if they live with a female, then we usually neuter them. He was neutered. Goliath was neutered. Those boys over there are neutered. Yeah, so usually if they live by themselves, we know they're going to live by themselves forever. We may not always do that, but yeah, usually if they live in groups,
Yeah.
we do. All right. Okay.